Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a really fascinating journey into an ancient narrative.
Yeah, specifically Genesis 8, verses 1 through 5.
And our mission really is to uncover some, profound insights about patience, hope, and maybe those slow processes of new beginnings.
Things that feel very relevant today, I think.
Absolutely. Think of it almost like a blueprint for navigating those long, sort of uncertain stretches we all face sometimes. How does the story of, well, massive destruction pivot to patience and hope? Okay, let's unpack this.
And we're leaning quite a bit today on Professor Eleanor Vance's commentary, Echoes of Genesis. She does this incredible, meticulous analysis.
Right.
She digs into how every little detail, word choices, timelines, paints this vivid picture of transition, of renewal. It's quite powerful.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning then. Genesis 8, verse 1. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark, and he sent a wind over the earth, and the waters receded. Now that phrase, God remembered Noah, it almost sounds like maybe God forgot for a second. How should we read that?
That's a great question, and it's easy to read it that way initially. But Professor Vance points out, and it's a key idea, that remembered here isn't about overcoming amnesia.
Okay.
It signals a deliberate shift. God is actively turning his attention back, you see, moving from judgment towards mercy, towards action.
So it's like an intentional turning point.
Precisely. It's the pivotal moment in this part of the story, signaling, okay, now we move towards restoration.
And then it says, God sent a wind over the earth. Now that detail, is it just, weather? Or is there something more going on?
Oh, much more. It's fascinating, actually. The Hebrew word there for wind is ruach. R-U-A-C-H.
Ruah, okay.
And that's the exact same word used way back in Genesis 1, verse 2, where the Spirit, the Ruach of God, is hovering over the waters at creation.
Wow, okay, so it's linking back directly.
Exactly. It strongly suggests a parallel. God is, in a sense, initiating a new creation here, bringing order out of the watery chaos again. Much like the very beginning, it's almost like a regenesis.
That's a really profound connection. So we have this active remembrance, this creative act with the wind. What comes next? Verse 2 says, Now the springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens had been closed, and the rain had stopped falling from the sky.
Right, and building on that theme of divine control, this verse shows a very precise, almost systematic reversal.
How so?
Well, remember back in Genesis 7, it described how the flood started? The springs of the great dip burst forth and the floodgates of the heavens were opened.
Aye.
Here, it's the exact opposite action. The springs are closed, the floodgates shut, the rain stops. It really underscores that God is fully in command.
Not just of starting the flood, but of ending it too, in a very ordered way.
Precisely. It's not just chaos receding on its own. It's an ordered withdrawal managed step by step.
That definitely reinforces the idea of control. Then Genesis 8, verse 3 adds another layer about how this happens. The water receded steadily from the earth. At the end of the 150 days, the water had gone down. That word steadily and the specific time frame, 150 days, really caught my eye. We often want things fixed instantly, don't we?
We absolutely do. And this verse pushes back on that expectation. It highlights a gradual process. Deliverance here isn't a sudden event. And Professor Vance really digs into this. It's not just about being patient. It's about understanding that sometimes, maybe often, divine action unfolds in phases. There's waiting involved.
So those 150 days, that's a long time.
It is, and it marks the time for the waters to go down, but as we'll see, it's not the end of the waiting. It's a powerful lesson that, significant change often happens slowly, sometimes unseen, really testing faith and endurance.
Okay, so after all that slow, steady receding over months, we get this really comforting image in verse 4. On the 17th day of the 7th month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. It feels like such a relief visually.
It really does. Finally, stability after all that drifting. The ark finds a fixed point.
And Ararat. That's in modern-day Turkey, right? Though we don't know the exact spot.
Correct. The specific peak isn't the main point, though. The crucial insight is that God guides them to a tangible place of safety. After all that chaos and movement, there's finally solid ground, metaphorically speaking.
Finding your footing after everything has been shaken up.
Exactly. A very powerful metaphor.
And then finally, verse 5 gives us this glimmer, this visible sign. The waters continued to recede until the 10th month, and on the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains became visible. I love that image, Hope, literally rising.
Yes, and notice it's still gradual. even after landing, the waters keep receding. It's not until the 10th month, months after landing, that the mountaintops appear.
So more waiting even after they've technically arrived.
Right. It reinforces that layered waiting idea, this first glimpse of land, just the peaks. It's the first concrete sign of a new world emerging, of a future. It's a slow reveal.
Validating the trust required during that long, unseen process.
Precisely. It builds hope incrementally.
So let's bring this home. What does this deep dive into these 5 verses really mean for you, the listener, today?
Well, I think this ancient story powerfully reminds us that even when you might feel forgotten or maybe stuck in what feels like a really long, difficult season,
Yeah.
there's this message of active remembrance. God hasn't forgotten. There's often subtle intervention happening.
Right. And it suggests that even if change feels incredibly slower than you'd like, there might be a thorough step-by-step restoration process unfolding maybe behind the scenes.
Yes, it really encourages trust in a timing that might be bigger than our own understanding, even when things feel deeply uncertain. Those small signs, like the mountaintops, can signal huge shifts are underway.
So as you reflect on this, maybe consider, where have you experienced something similar? A sense of, I don't know, remembrance, or a turning point when things felt bleak?
Or what helps you trust in that slow process of restoration, when it feels like nothing is happening or it's taking far too long?
Yeah, and maybe looking around now. What small mountaintops, what little signs of hope, or maybe just starting to become visible in your own life?
We really hope considering these ancient details might offer some fresh perspectives on your own experiences with waiting, with uncertainty.
And with embracing those sometimes slow, unfolding new beginnings.
Exactly.
What stands out most to you from our deep dive today? We really encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep these insights in mind.